format at SherryAudios.com, where you can go and listen to them for free. And the chapters that are in my books are just articles on my websites. I'm not in this to make money. I have no love of money. What the Lord gives me, I use for His people. I turn around and spend for His cause, His purposes. Warring for Him in the last days. I have no love for money. I'm not greedy. My car I drive's 10 years old. It's got almost 200,000 miles on it. I just took it halfway across the country. I got no love for money. And everything I do is for the Lord. I have an open heart and a clean heart before the Lord. He knows my heart. So they really don't have a leg to stand on. I put those books in book form so that people who didn't want to read my websites could buy the books. That was a request by a lot of people to put my articles in book format, and that's what I've done. And I still haven't probably even broken even on the cost that it's costed me that I use through donations to put those articles in book formats. I still haven't even covered my own costs on it. So they'll tell me, these naysayers and these people always looking to be critical. And sometimes when I do these recordings, I say things backwards. Sometimes I'll misquote something, a verse out of the Bible, maybe not quote it direct, but you know my heart. People know my heart, and it's hard to do things live. You don't want to go back and have to edit things over and over again. You just want to do it one time. So that's just the real you. It's not an edited version. It's just me talking, And so people will send me things and point things out. You said this and this, and you should re-edit that and say this the right way. And get over it, folks. Get over it. The Lord knows my heart. And I've been out here on the front lines for years. I'll be the first one out on the battlefield line. I've been there for years, and I walk the talk. Anybody who knows me knows I walk the talk. I'm not just out here hitting the pavement, do as I say, not as I do type person. I get out there and I walk the talk, and I do everything that I encourage you to do. Everything. You can read anything on my websites. The prayer articles I have and how to pray. Battling Satan's kingdom with the use of orgone, one of the weapons he's given us in these last days. And then people say, well, where's orgone in the Bible? Well, you know what? He had, was it Aaron or Moses who used the Earl and the theremin? I can't remember how exactly that goes. But there's various ways, things the Lord had came up with when the people of Israel needed it to get things accomplished. And this is just the last day's weapon. This is something that He's using, we're using to defeat the strongholds of the New World Order with. And so, a lot of people seem to go to Him and pray instead of coming against His warriors that are actually standing up and doing something in these last days. The army of 144,000, they're warriors and they're evangelists, and they come against the strongholds of Satan during the tribulation period. And so how could anybody possibly even think they're going to make that army if all they do now is come against the Lord's people who are standing up and fighting for His name? Go back to the couch. So many of you are you're drivers from your couches. You criticize everything everybody else is doing, but you never get off your own butt and do anything. You go around and criticize everybody else's websites. You don't even have your own website. Backseat drivers, you can just hear the hiss of Satan in all of them. And he'll use backslidden and carnal and vile Christians who call themselves Christians and Lord's followers. He'll use them to come up against the real threats that the Lord has, His real warriors. He'll use them to run their mouths and be negative and criticize. And really keep them from ever coming to be able to humble themselves before the Lord and say, okay, I'm wrong. What do you need me to do? Teach me the truth in all things. I'll put aside everything I've ever thought I knew. Everything I taught myself through man's works, man's books, man's writings, throwing it all out. And you teach me everything from the beginning, Lord. You just teach me yourself, and you lead and guide me. And it's a process, and it's a journey, but it's well worth it because you know when you know it's the Lord that's leading and guiding you. So many people mock and they make fun of that. Well, the Lord told her that. The Lord said to do that. You know what? I would 10 times rather know what I know because the Lord told me, rather than, I read it from so-and-so. You know, you ask you a question and all you do is copy and paste someone else's material. That's head wisdom. That's head knowledge. When do you start with your own? When do you have your own relationship with the Lord to where He can lead and guide you? He sets people up to be mouthpieces for Him, yes, but you know what? There's nothing new under the sun. You know, what He reveals to one, He'll reveal to all. There's nothing hidden that won't be revealed. Anyway, folks, again, I really don't know what this whole recording's about. I've just kind of jumped from one thing to the next. You know, just encouraging you to be available for the Lord so that you can be used to go out and tear down strongholds of Satan's around this world. You know, not just America. He's got His people on islands and in countries and nations all over this world. And we're scattered. We're everywhere. And so what He leads you to do for your particular area, listen for Him and do it, but this time is short. A lot of destructions could be coming, not just in America, but around the world. You know, any time. He's leading you to get off of an island, get off of it. Planet X coming in. Planet X is already visible. I'm getting pictures from around America where people are seeing two suns at sunset time. If you go outside and look at the sunset, a lot of people catching it with digital cameras, sending me pictures. Various parts of the country. I haven't seen it myself yet. Haven't really looked. But they say after the month of May they're going to no longer be able to hide it. That Planet X is going to be totally visible. And they've been working like rabid dogs for years trying to even hide the fact that Planet X exists. This planet Rahab. And I have a website, rahabisreturning.com, that talks about this Planet X. I have codes revealed on it at hiddencodes.com on Planet X. Articles on it throughout my websites. On this Planet X and some of these other anomalies that have been seen and reported. I have an article at SherryTalkRadio.com on Planet X and Tutatis and some of these other anomalies that have been seen. So it's coming, this Planet X, and it's a dark star. I don't believe it has light of its own. It just reflects the light of the sun. It makes it look like there's two suns. It could. I mean, there's a couple anomalies that are around the sun right now. You have the dark star, you have Planet X, and there's something else over there. There's three of them. And so sometimes it's hard to tell which is which you're looking at. Are you seeing Planet X or are you seeing the dark star? The dark star itself has no light of its own. It just reflects the light of the sun. Planet X does have light of its own. Let me backtrack, because it does, because it's a planet, it's a red planet. And so what I think is happening is some of these people are seeing this dark star become more prominent over by the sun. That could be Planet X, it could just be the dark star. It could be either one. I'd have to see it myself, but it could be either one. Either way, it's the dark star that signals the rise of the Antichrist, that he's going to be coming to power soon. And so there's your sign in the sky, folks. The Lord said to watch out for signs in the skies. And when I did a code on this dark star, it's a signal. It serves as a signal that the rise of the Antichrist is near. And it could already be happening behind the scenes for all we know. And we don't know if this is going to come out blatant, the Sananda and Maitri all of a sudden arrive. Oh, we're from heaven, we're ascended masters, we're messiahs, and then both religions, all of the Jews and the Christians are going to be fighting against the Arabs. No, Jesus is the Messiah, and the Arabs are going to say, no, Mahdi, our matriarch is the Messiah. And they're going to go to war against each other. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, things can get more crazy and more insane as we go. So just watch for that. But we know who the ultimate winner is going to be. It will be the Sananda. Because Satan wants to be worshipped as God and sit in Jerusalem. And he wants to mimic everything about the real Son of God.